Okay, well here we are guys, we're back out in the sunny Waikato today, and we're just going to take a bit of time just to step you through how we can go about doing a pre-herbage mass pasture assessment. So most of you are familiar with using a rising plate meter, but there are times when if we haven't adjusted the calibrations on those plate meters we can get some noise in the numbers. So what we like to do is come out and do a quadrant cut. So what we do is we've just got a piece of string that's 2 meters long. That gives us a 50 by 50 centimetre quadrant, and all we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to cut the grass, the pasture that's actually inside our 50 by 50 centimetre quadrant right down to the ground, and then we're going to take it back and we're going to weigh it, then we'll dry it down to a dry matter assessment, and we'll just apply a calculation to actually determine what the pre-grazing mass of this pasture is today. So we're going to step you through that one and just show you how you can do that on your own farm.
So why is it necessary to take it right down to the base?
So the reason why we cut the pasture right down to the ground is because we're trying to assess the pre-grazing herbage mass. Once we've done that, we can then come back and assess the post-grazing residual. When we actually know the difference between the pre-grazing and the post-grazing, we can multiply that number by the area that we've offered to the cows in hectares for that day and divide that by the number of cows, and we actually have a really accurate indicator of how many kilograms of dry matter each cow is consuming each day.
Okay, all good. So there, guys, as you can see, we've cut it right down to the ground. So now we're going to take that sample of pasture back to the lab, we're going to dry it down, and we'll come up with some results and see what we have. We're back at the lab, or aka the kitchen. So something that you can all do at home. So all we have here is our scales, we have our jug, we have our pasture sample. All we're doing is we're tearing the scale so that we get the true weight. So we've already done a true weight of our pasture sample, and we had 460 grams of pasture from our 50 centimetre quadrant. So now we're just going to weigh out a 100 gram sample of that, and we're going to start the drying down process in the microwave. Alright folks, here we go. We've just had our pasture sample in the microwave for 5 minutes, so we're taking it out and we're weighing it again. So we started, and our first sample was at 100 grams, and so we've cooked it for 5 minutes and it's dried down, so now it's down to 45 grams. So what we're going to keep doing is we're just going to keep cooking that for a period of time until we get two weights that are the same, which is then telling us that we've actually reached the point where we've taken all the moisture out and we have a dry matter percentage, so then we can actually come and do the rest of our calculation. We've come to the stage where we've had the pasture back in the oven a couple of times and we've come out with the same weight. So remembering that we started with a 100 gram sample of pasture, we've dried it down, and the final weight is actually 25 grams. So that means that the dry matter percentage of the pasture that we cut from that quadrant this afternoon is actually 25%. Okay, so here's our example. We've just put the numbers up on the board, so just to go over it one more time, the starting weight of our quadrant cut was 460 grams. And then we took a subsample, 100 grams out of that, just to make the drying procedure a little bit simpler. And you can see over time how it came down, and we had a final result of 25 grams, which means that that pasture was 25% dry matter. So then it's a really simple calculation that we apply to actually work out what our pre-grazing mass in kilograms of dry matter per hectare is. So all we do is we multiply our 460 grams by 25% dry matter to get the how many grams of dry matter was in that quadrant cut. So that gave us 115 grams. And then all we do is we actually multiply the 115 grams by 40, which then gives us a calculation on where we're at in kilograms of dry matter per hectare. So 115 times 40 gives us a pre-grazing mass for that pasture today of 4,600 kilograms of dry matter per hectare.